Okay, so here we go. This is another video, and I want to just show you that I've been sketching in my book here. This is just my sketchbook that I sketch in on my lunches, or whenever I have free time, come home after work, kind of thing. And I take just a few minutes and just kind of draw whatever comes into my head. And anyway, let me just kind of flip through here. Just kind of wanted to show you that you can really draw anything. Just, doodle anything. Look at this. This is just what I kind of talked about in my last video. And I know it's faint, and that's one of the things that I kind of try to do is focus, like I was talking about with fundamentals, and then working on those shapes so that when I do get into something like this area, I kind of sketch it in, I pencil it in, and then go in, and this would be like rendering it, right? Giving it a little bit more line quality and some extra value. So little things, just like just did some shield designs. I didn't really know what to draw, so I just kind of started drawing shield designs, and that was enough to fill up my time on my lunch. And and then I actually started working on some little character faces. I'm always kind of trying to work on not just profiles. This is a straight-on profile, but these 25 and 45 degree angles kind of thing, and trying to capture the shape of the mouth. And I know these are kind of faint. Hopefully when I get a new camera at some point, these images will pick up better, and I can actually mount the camera a little bit better. I know you don't see it, but it's a little wonky. It makes things a little difficult, but I'm trying to manage through that, so I'll get there eventually. One day I just worked on flowers. It was what I thought was different than just doing the same thing. Went back and started working on some other stuff there too. Some of that again. And just whatever pops in your mind. This is kind of funny. This guy has got a long face. That's the thing I try to figure out. The shapes of things, changing it up, making it look unique. Because sometimes things can get a little distorted or a little average looking. And I got some different themes I'm working on for some other projects. I make stickers, and so I try to come up with some interesting things for stickers. Some of these things are things I'm going to talk about in videos when I'm kind of talking about the conceptual side of art, and to try to tap into that part of your brain that takes shapes and turns them into forms, and let your mind just relax and go into that almost zen, or what they kind of call an automatic drawing stage or process. I had played some D&D, and they talked about grungs, and I wasn't exactly sure I know what these creatures are from playing them in video games, and they actually, I think, were featured in Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 2. You fight these little creatures down in their lair, and I didn't know their name, grungs, but so I started doodling them because I thought they were, funny and interesting. And I try to kind of do this where I go between a few different types of styles, kind of experiment with this, which is kind of my classic style, really. You can kind of see that in some of these other images here. This is kind of actually my fallback. But I've been playing around with almost a Tex Avery kind of Looney Tunes style. I think we'll see that in a couple of pages here too. This is funny, it's turned into a sketchbook tour, and I wasn't exactly going to go full sketchbook tour on this. Again, kind of just playing around with different ideas. This actually was a study of fat areas on the face. So sometimes we think of muscles, but maybe we don't always include the fat areas. So when we are drawing, we have to think about these areas that are padded on the face and how those sit differently. This is another little project idea that I got going. We'll see where that goes. Here we are again. This is kind of part of the same project. I mean, you can easily see that this is kind of like a Bigfoot character, and that's kind of the project, is these cryptids. And then I kind of played around with a little bit of a Frankenstein and did that, and that kind of join these eyes together and make it a little bit like a Tex Avery, that's Looney Tunes style. And I started thinking about, oh, I haven't really categorized the styles that I'm working in. And then I kind of started playing around with that a little bit here, where you got the Hanna-Barbera style, that's your sometimes your Flintstones, Looney Tunes style again with Tasmanian Devil. This was a little Dr. Seuss style. And then again, kind of went back. Flintstones Hanna-Barbera can be a little different sometimes. Flintstones, they have different eyes, and just try to play around with that idea. So going back to just kind of what I was talking about last week. Oh, and then all of a sudden, our encounter the next week of D&D, we're in this big map and we're exploring different areas of it. And in a lot of the areas are kobolds. And some of the kobolds I saw, like, I'm used to second edition. I'm used to one of the concept artists, Tony, and I can't think how to say his last name. It started like D-I, but a fantastic artist. And his kobolds were very rat-looking. And I'm looking up pictures, and these ones look more like lizards and cute lizards and stuff. And like, you know, some people have taken this concept of the kobold and kind of, you know, run away with it and made it cute. That's fine. Do whatever you want. I do kind of want to say here. So there's different instruments I like to use, and sometimes the instruments maybe don't show up so great on the camera. Some of my go-to, I actually really like Bic mechanical pencils. There's only a couple pieces of lead in each one of these, but the lead is reliably smooth and I think of really good quality, which kind of surprises me. But they're relatively cheap, and you can get them in a big pack. And so, you know, it's somewhere you don't have to carry a sharpener everywhere you go. And you can kind of get, I don't know if I want to draw on that page right now because I want to draw more kobolds. But here, you can get some real thin, light lines. I don't even think they're appearing on the camera very well. You have to get real close. And then I can get like real dark lines. And those you can see appear really good. And, you know, you can thicken those lines up really well too. You can do some if you get your gesturing right, you can really get some nice soft shading. And I have this bad habit of when things get kind of slow and boring, if I don't have my sketchbook, I start sketching and like I get these little pieces of I don't know, whatever, index cards, and I'll sketch on them. Sometimes I get these kind of pieces of paper like this that we use at work, and I don't like it to go to waste, so I kind of rip them up into little pieces of paper, and this is what I use when I take notes and stuff, and then all of a sudden there I am sketching on them too, and just waiting for my next mission to come to me at work so I can work on that. Now, my sketching tools, which isn't a Yoda, yes, draw you must. This is a nice little tin. Yoda happens to be one of my favorite characters, along with Han Solo and Obi-Wan Kenobi. And this gives me a nice wide range of stuff. So maybe you'd like to see this. These pencils you can find usually at like a professional art store. They You push it down like this, and there is a large piece of lead inside there, and you can adjust that. Now, the end of this has a hole in it, and I know my camera didn't pick that up very well, but there's a hole at the end of this, and you can take this off, and you can do like this. You can put it like in this, and then you can sharpen it. Okay, and that'll get you by for a while. I think this thing dulls though at some point, and so what you want to do is maybe eventually invest in one of these. Now, for the longest time, I'm just jamming this thing in there and cranking it around. And I'm like, well, what length do I put that in? I don't know. Well, guess what? There's these little points here. And if you want it to be a little of a wider or more obtuse point, then what you do is you take your lead there, you drop it right in, and you cuck it and just do that. And that's the length that it should be. And then you just stick that right in there, twist that around. Usually you kind of feel when it gets real easy, and then it gives you a nice point there. And if we were to do that in this one, this will give you like a shiv almost. It'll be so pointy. So this is really a good item, and I definitely Amazon or something like that. I didn't get it for too much, but support your local art stores if you can. I would plug a couple, but I'm not sponsored to do that. Okay, so anyway, I like this this pencil a lot. This gives me, and you can get different types of lead. So let me just show you real quick what I mean by that. So this is our fun technical pencil, drafting pencil. Also, let me tell you something. This video, I can already tell, is going on a little longer than what I care for it to. And I would say there's a little cog that you can click on, and you can select your play speed, and you probably could bump me up to 1.5 and watch this in about half the time. I like giving information. I like talking to people. I really know it can run on, and that's why I usually do better with a live show. But for this case, I think these points were good to make. I want to make some other ones that I'll make another video about, I guess. In the meantime, let's talk about this real quick. So these, if you're not familiar with these are all different types of pencils with different types of lead. You have H6, and then it goes all the way H to H6 to H, or 2H, and then H. F, couldn't really tell you what F stands for. H's are hard. B is brittle. And so you get an HB. That's like your basic the school pencil almost. This is a 2B. And as you get further in the hierarchy of these pencils, and you get to your, what is it? This is an 8B? Well, there should be a 6B in here, but I probably bought this separate because this sucker right here, when it's brittle, it's dark. And this makes a really good, if you're going to do some shading, which I did some artwork for a local competition here called Art Prize. And I did a drawing of Stevie Ray Vaughan, who is a blues singer and musician, and who passed away. He was very popular in the early 80s. Played for David Bowie, by the way. I did this piece in graphite, and so I definitely took advantage of this to do parts of his hat and some of his hair. And you can take one of these little smudge sticks here, and you can start smudging in there and kind of smoothing out some of that stuff. This is also a really good technique too if you want to add some stuff here, and you kind of get it loaded up with some graphite. You can go like this, take that and do, there's a nice little shading technique if you want, or value adding technique, so it's not too heavy. You know, you could use this probably for fur or explosions, because you can use this kind of thing and you can start kind of maybe making clouds with it too. Okay, so a fun technique I would encourage anybody to try, like I said, along with just trying to sketch daily. Okay, so there's that. these things I don't think are too expensive. Of course, I probably have had this kit for forever, and I cannot think of what it cost at the time, and who knows now with inflation what it costs. But then just to cover, we covered that 8B, but this is a 6H. This makes a great sketch pencil because it is light, and so you can start feeling out those shapes and trying to envision some of those forms we talked about. And then you can go through, and let's pick a different pencil here from one of my collections. So I do these, like you can see I got a 4H right here. So that's a nice one that also gives us that light touch. And it's nice because it's a mechanical pencil, so it's always going to be sharp and precise. This is another version of it, and this probably just has your regular old number 2 HB lead in it. So then I can go through and I can start kind of darkening things up, but also very precise because the size of it is a 0.3. And so some of these mechanical pencils come in different sizes. 0.3 I think is typically the smallest, but then you can get stuff, this is a 0.3, but this is going to be a darker lead, if I remember right. Yeah, look at that, that's nice. Really, like, I can't see how that, well, it is a little darker. But yeah, we can get in there and start adding in some of those details in a precise way. That's this one. This one also is a 0.3, but I think, I don't think this is the one. Oh, this one, no, this one had a really soft lead in it. It wasn't even HB. I think it's more like a 4B or something like that. And so, which it should tell here if I had it lined up correctly, but these things tend to move around over time. And so, yeah, that's where we get the darker one, and this one's probably closer to the HB. So a nice tool there. Let's see here. This is just a regular old Papermate, which, I mean, I think I like it because this one's a 0.5, I think, as far as, yeah, 0.5. You can't really see it there. But there, that gives us those thicker lines. Probably, what's our Bic here is a 0.7, so we definitely get some nice thicker lines there. So there's that. And then in my kit here, I have a retractable eraser that kind of keeps it nice sometimes. You can get in there and erase with that real good. I keep some of these extra lead pieces. So this is a 0.3 and it's a B. So yeah, and then this one's the HB. So the B is going to be more, I think, brittle than the HB. And then finally, I got this this pencil here, jet black, extra smooth, and so this is nice because it's kind of like that 8B that we had. But I like to keep these pencils all together and not scattered around everywhere, and then keep this stuff in this kit. And then I have this really good kneaded eraser, or not, this isn't a kneaded eraser, but it's a really good eraser, and I wish there was a better way to keep it clean. Anyway, okay, running a little long, so like I said, use that little thing, cog in the speed up if you want to get through this, but it's kind of late in the game. So you can kind of see that, yeah, that does some relatively good cleanups. Most of the time what you're going to want to do is if you're sketching and you really love a sketch, you know, you're going to use your eraser to clean up some of your problems, or you know, with the art, and then maybe you're going to redraw it. You know, you're going to trace over it, maybe put it on a light board, maybe you'll ink it. You know. And so these smudges won't matter so much because you'll find a way to get them out of the final piece. Okay, I was going to talk about sketching actually, and try to encourage you to just let your mind go. Don't worry about what you're drawing. Just draw, and maybe do some sketches of what I meant by that with some more shapes and forms. But I think this one actually was a pretty productive video. So I think you know, keep it up, leave a comment, you know, follow the channel, that'd be great. And then yeah, I'll make another video pretty soon. Bye.